In a tournament, there are n teams T1, T2, Tn, and this n is greater than 5, means there are more than 5 teams, not 5, more than 5. Each team consists of k players, and k is greater than 3, means each team has more than 3 players. The following pairs of teams have one player in common, means if team 1 has a player, then the same player is in team 2. If the team 2 has a player, then the same player is in team 3. So like this, if the last team has one player, the same player is in first team. So in all these teams there is one player common. No other pairs of teams has any player in common. How many players are participating in the tournament, considering all the n teams together? So these are options. We have to find out the correct one here. So you see, neither the number of teams has been given nor the number of players, but it has been stated that the number of teams are greater than 5 and the number of players are also greater than 3. So now we have to solve. Firstly, since the number of teams are n and the number of players are k, this means the total number of players are n into k. Why? Because, for example, if I say that there are two groups, each group has two members. So two groups, two members. K is for members. Two groups, two members. This means 2 into 2 gives 4, so there are 4 members. So that's why I have written that I don't know the number of teams, but I don't know the number of players, but if we multiply n by k, we can get the total number of players. So now the next part of this question says, further it is given that the following pairs of teams have one player in common. Team 1 and team 2, they both have one player in common. Team 2 and team 3 has one player in common. So all these teams have one player in common. So this means that the number of common players are n, because there are n teams. So let's understand this thing. This is very much important. T1, T2 has one player. Firstly, let's assume there are, for example, if there are 7 teams, so I could have 8 teams, 9 teams, 10 teams, but the number of teams, any number I can choose, but it has to be greater than number of teams. The number has to be greater than 5, because it is given here. The number of teams has to be greater than 5 and the number of players has to be greater than 3. The number of teams we have selected is 7. We have assumed it. So T1, T2 has one player, T2, T3 has one player common in common, and T3, T4 has one player in common. T4 and T5 has one player in common. T5 and T6 has one player in common. T6 and T7 has one player in common. And this is very much important, that T7 and T1 means the team 1 and the last team has one player in common, because it is given here that the last team, the n, and the first team has one player in common. So when we try to find the total number of players who are common, then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, so there are 7 players, there are 7 common players, and there are 7 teams. So how we can write this? How we can write this? Actually, we have to subtract the uh, common players from this total. Only then we can find the exact number. We have to subtract this all these common players from the total number. This is the total, and multiplied by k. We have to subtract this all these common players. Only then we can find the total numbers. So if we now write n multiplied k minus 1 to find out the exact number of team members, it becomes n k minus 1. Why it is 1? Because the n is common here. So we take, if we multiply, so it becomes n into k and becomes n. So this is the answer, n k minus 1. So which is the correct? So it is A. The correct answer is this one.